There are a ton of incredible games coming out for the Xbox Series X and S in the near future, but in today's video I want to talk about the best looking games that you can currently play on these consoles. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben Gaming video. I do hope you guys are having a fantastic day as always. If you enjoy this video, please consider leaving it a like and subscribing as well if you really enjoy it, because there's plenty more to come on this channel. But without further ado, let's get on to the first game, which is one of my favorite games of this generation so far, and I loved the game that came before it as well. And this is, of course, talking about A Plague's Tale: Requiem. Now, Requiem was a absolutely fantastic game to launch on these next-gen systems. Graphically, it's one of the best games I've ever seen. We now have recently got an update to it as well to give us that performance mode, because when it launched you had 1440p at 30 FPS, then upscaled, and then you had a 40 FPS mode if you had a 120Hz display on Series X. But now they have this 1080p performance mode at 60 FPS, which is then upscaled above that, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. There were a few downgrades though, with the rats being halved in terms of the FPS, but still this game looks absolutely insane. But I'd still highly consider playing this game with the 40 FPS mode if you have 120Hz, just to get that really nice boost in resolution. It just looks gorgeous. But onto the next game in this video, and this is one that was actually launched before the Series X but got a lot of enhancements, including enhancements above what the PC version at the time was doing, and this is Gears 5. Now, this game is running at 4K 60 FPS on the Series X, and as I said, higher settings than what the PC can even do. This game looks absolutely gorgeous from start to finish. It's one of my favorite Gears games of all time as well, with some really good introductions to new characters too. Now, this game, as you can see on screen, just look at it. I mean, there's not really a lot more you can say. It's been upgraded to take advantage of both systems. There's even 120 FPS in the multiplayer, which just also looks absolutely insane on my OLED at 120 Hz. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So definitely go back, even if you've played this game before, go back at some point when you have a spare moment to check this game out. Look at the graphics, look at the detail. It is gorgeous. Next on the list is Forza Horizon 5. Now, you can't have a decent graphics video or a video talking about best graphics games without including Forza Horizon 5. This game, obviously, coming out, launching on the Series X and S. Again, one of the best looking games. This game is just phenomenal. Like, please, if you haven't tried it, obviously it's on Game Pass, go and check it out. Just look at the detail. We spend so much time in this game taking photos of whatever car I'm driving in different locations, just looking at how good the game looks. Graphically amazing. Gameplay wise is a fantastic game too. If you enjoy the Forza Horizon series, you're definitely gonna like this one for sure. But there's not a lot more I can say about that. I mean, it's Forza, you guys know, you can see on screen what we're doing. Mexico was such a good choice for this game with all the tree detail and everything like that. It just looks phenomenal. Now, next on the list is something I consider as one of the most groundbreaking games of all time, and this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. This really, if you think about it, is literally our planet in a game. If you want, you could fly around the entire planet in this game, and it is rendered in. Now, obviously, when you zoom very close to the ground, or you land a helicopter on the ground, or an airplane, or whatever you want, you could tell that this game, obviously, they've used, assets that maybe those buildings aren't there in real life. Like, I actually tried to find the villa I stayed in Corfu this year, and pretty impressively, they had the little triangle section on the swimming pool that we had, and it was very, very well done. But obviously the villa didn't look identical. But if you fly somewhere to like New York, the big cities where they are, doing these amazing reconstructions of what the world is, this really looks impressive. Now, this was a game that most people thought, nah, it's never going to come to Xbox, because obviously it launched on PC first. But with the power of these consoles, they were able to get this done. Yes, it's at 30 FPS, but it looks insane on the system. And when you consider what this game is doing with all the flight traffic data that's actually in the real world, this is just phenomenal. Graphically looks amazing. The detail inside the cockpits of the planes, the detail outside in the world is just phenomenal. And again, on Game Pass, and a game I seriously suggest anyone with an Xbox goes and tries because it looks phenomenal. All right, so next on the list is a game you probably wouldn't think of as the best looking, or one of the best looking games, and this is Sea of Thieves. Now, playing this on the Series X is gorgeous. Now, this game has some of the best looking water physics I've ever seen in a video game. It looks gorgeous, and the graphical art style of this game really makes everything pop and shine, and with HDR on, it looks phenomenal. Now, you get 4K 60 on the Series X, but you also have a secondary mode where you can play at 120 FPS at 1080p, which just makes the whole experience, if you're doing lots of online competitive fighting, obviously it's better to have high frame rates. So that's a very good option that you've got there. But again, I just love playing this game at 4K 60 on my OLED. It looks glorious, and again, yeah, one of the best looking games you will see from the Xbox Series platforms. It just looks brilliant. But next one is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Now, starting with Series X, the performance mode gives players a dynamic 1080p resolution at actually up to 120 Hz, which is ridiculous from a game like this. With this good looking of graphics, to get a 120 FPS mode is insane. Now, this doesn't have ray tracing or anything, but there is a resolution mode which gives players a dynamic resolution up to 2160, so 4K resolution at 60 FPS, and again, this is with no ray tracing, but you do get 4K 60 FPS. Now, there's a full quality mode, or enriched mode as they call it for Hellblade. This gives you 2160p 4K resolution at 30 FPS with ray tracing as well, so you get that full maximum fidelity. And again, this is another one of those games that just looks so good, and obviously we've got a sequel coming very soon, which just looks even better. But I suggest if you played this game before, come back and replay it now on Series X with all these amazing modes. Play it in 120 FPS if you want, or if not, 60 FPS 4K or 30 FPS 4K with ray tracing. It just looks amazing on the Xbox platform. Now, the next one on the list is Scorn. Now, this is a terrifying, very atmospheric first-person horror adventure game set in this nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Now, this is in 4K, looks absolutely insane. If you guys haven't looked at the game in person and played it and booted it up on your Series X, then you don't really know what you're looking at. Yes, it's a very odd, weird game, but when you actually boot it up and you start playing and the atmosphere of this game hits you, it's very impressive. You really get captured into this awful looking world, but amazing looking world at the same time. Like, graphically it looks insane, but it makes you feel so uncomfortable because of what you're looking at, and because it looks so accurate to what they're trying to, you know, show us on screen. But it's a very good game, lots of puzzles and stuff like that, but it's very interesting. Now, the next one I expect every single one of you to have played, and if you haven't, you are seriously missing out, and this is Elden Ring. Not only is it a phenomenal game, but it is a very impressive looking game. This game is just obviously Game of the Year, was amazing at the time. The amount of things you can do in this open world environment is brilliant. Like, there's so much to discover, so much to find, so many frustrating moments, but brilliant moments at the same time. But not only this, does it look amazing. Obviously, you've got ray tracing modes now in the game as well, but you have just a beautiful looking game. I'd play it, obviously, any mode that you get 60 FPS, because you need that higher frame rate just to make sure you can play the game properly. Because you trust me, you need frames to fight some of these people. It'd be very hard doing it at 30, but still, even the 60 FPS mode looks amazing. This game is so detailed, the world is so vibrant and rich, and with HDR, again, one of the best looking, most impressive games on the platform. Now, recently we heard about the fix for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, obviously this is a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, one of my favorite games of all time, and this certainly did live up to the hype with getting a sequel. Now, at launch, this game was very messy. They had a 30 FPS mode and a 60 FPS mode, but they both had ray tracing, and this 60 FPS mode was all over the place. It dropped down to the 40s, sometimes high 30s on both next-gen consoles, and looked a mess. But recently, we've had this performance mode patch where you can actually now get a locked 60 FPS. They have removed ray tracing from that mode, but it's a gorgeous locked 60 FPS with actually enhanced textures, and they've even added in things like foliage and up the sliders and what you would get on the PC version to make the game look better. So even if you play this game through, I do suggest replaying it through. Now you've got this perfect locked 60 FPS mode, looking better than ever. The 30 FPS mode now is a lot more stable as well, but that 60 FPS mode is definitely one you'd want to play. It looks gorgeous on the Series X and the Series S, and is definitely a must play and one of the best looking games we've got on these current platforms. Now, Metro Exodus, this is one I'm not going to spend too much time on because the game is just phenomenal. You have ray tracing at 4K 60 FPS, graphically one of the most groundbreaking things. Like, this was one of the first games that we got full ray tracing capabilities, even at that high resolution and high frame rate. Like, it looks incredible. Again, one of the best games. I seriously recommend you go and play it. That's all I'm going to say on it, really. Now, next is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, the reason this one's on the list is because, yeah, they use very similar tech for this game as they have for the past few Assassin's Creed games and the ones coming down the line. Mirage, I'm talking about you. But this game is very groundbreaking because obviously it's the first one on console where we got full 60 FPS support for the first time. Obviously the other ones have been updated too, but even though this game looks amazing and it's a huge, glorious open world, you actually can play all this at 60 FPS. Now, is it the best looking game of all time? Absolutely not. The one next on the list actually blows this one out the water a little bit, but it's still absolutely phenomenal. A beautiful open world with loads to do, and it still looks amazing. It's an amazing looking game on the Series X. When you first start that game and you're walking through the snow and you see all the snow moving around where you're walking, it just looks amazing. I remember being shocked by that when I first booted this up on my Xbox Series X. Now, next on the list is Red Dead Redemption 2. Although this game has still not yet been patched for Series X and S to have a 60 FPS mode, you do get 4K 30, and let me tell you, this game looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal on the One X, and it obviously looks the same basically on the Series X, but even though it's locked at 30 and they haven't patched it for next gen and nothing's changed from the One X version, this still is one of the best looking games ever. It would easily run at 60 FPS on the Series X as well, with amazing boost to CPU performance from the One X. It would run at 60, and I'm hoping one day we do get this patch, but I'm telling you now, if this is a game that you want to just boot up and play a good graphics game, go back and play Red Dead Redemption 2. And now the last one on the list is one that's just launched, and this is Starfield. Don't listen to the morons on Twitter or X or whatever that you hear saying about how this game, in their hand-picking screenshots to say this game is bad looking. It is not. You can walk up to any dial in your spaceship or anybody else's spaceship and you can read the text underneath telling you what it's doing. You could read the text on a carton of milk in this game if you wanted to, and it looks so detailed. Yes, it's at 30 FPS, but it is at 4K, and the world detail is incredible. And again, we're talking about graphics here. This is just one of the best, most clever games with what they're using in the hardware. The fact that you can go and put a nice detailed sandwich on a planet, play the whole game through for 70 hours, go back to that planet, and it's still in the exact place you left it is insanely groundbreaking in terms of what the game can do. And not to mention, it's doing this with all this high detail and fidelity of very clear what you're doing in the game. It's just brilliant. I suggest people don't listen to what people are saying on Twitter. Play the game for yourself. I love it. I've had a great time and I'm still playing through it at the moment. I'm like 40, 50 hours in, and I'm probably not even close to discovering most of the planets in the game because there is so much to do. But that's it for this video. Those are the best looking games on my personal list. Yes, there's probably some I've missed. Of course there is. Perhaps if you write enough of them down below in the comments, I can compile another list and we can do a second version of this video. But let me know. Like and subscribe the video if you have enjoyed as well, and yeah, I'll see you in Friday's video. We may be doing giveaways, by the way, so do look for that. Let's hope so. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye bye for now.